The snow was falling sideways that night, sharp and relentless, the kind of cold that burns your lungs and makes every step feel heavier than the last. On the edge of a deserted road, beside a rattling chain-link fence, a teenage girl sat curled into herself, her cheer uniform soaked and useless against the freezing wind. Her teeth chattered, her hands trembling as she tried to make herself smaller. Cars passed without slowing. Headlights flashed and disappeared. It was the kind of moment where the world feels cruelly indifferent until one small act of kindness threatens to change everything. If you believe that kindness still matters, that second chances can rewrite destinies, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this only live on because people like you keep them alive. The boy who noticed her almost didn't stop. He was cold himself, exhausted after a long shift at a nearby garage, his hands stiff and his thoughts focused on getting home. His coat was old but thick, the one thing standing between him and the biting winter air. He saw her out of the corner of his eye, a splash of color against endless white, and something in his chest tightened. He slowed, hesitated, and then turned back, the snow crunching loudly beneath his worn shoes. Up close he could see how young she was, how fear mixed with embarrassment on her pale face as she tried to hide her shaking. He didn't ask questions. He didn't think about consequences. He slipped off his coat and wrapped it around her shoulders, shielding her from the wind, kneeling just long enough to make sure it covered her properly. The warmth made her shoulders sag in relief, tears freezing on her lashes. He helped her to her feet and flagged down the next car that came by, making sure she wasn't alone anymore. Then he walked away into the storm wearing only a thin shirt, every step colder than the last, never knowing that the coat he gave away belonged to more than just him. That coat carried a patch sewn carefully on the inside, barely noticeable but unmistakable to those who knew. It marked him as someone who once lived on the edge of trouble, someone trying to stay straight in a town that never let you forget your past. The girl's father would notice it later when she finally made it home, wrapped in borrowed warmth and shock. He was a man with a reputation that preceded him, a Hell's Angel known for his temper, his loyalty, and his iron grip on the world around him. When he saw his daughter shaking, frostbitten, and wrapped in a stranger's coat, something primal surged through him. Not rage, but fear. The search didn't take long. Men like him knew how to find answers. By morning he knew who the boy was, where he worked, and what kind of life he was trying desperately to leave behind. The boy, unaware of any of this, struggled through the next day with numb fingers and a stubborn cough, replaying the image of the girl's relief over and over in his mind. He told himself it was worth it. He told himself that sometimes doing the right thing meant being uncomfortable. Still, a quiet worry sat in his stomach, the kind that comes when you've crossed paths with something bigger than yourself. When the biker finally found him, it wasn't in anger. It was in silence. A line of motorcycles rolled into the garage parking lot, engines rumbling like distant thunder, turning heads and freezing conversations mid-sentence. The boy felt the blood drain from his face as he wiped grease from his hands, memories of old mistakes flashing through his mind. He expected fists, threats, punishment. What he didn't expect was gratitude heavy enough to feel like a weight. The man looked at him for a long moment, really looked at him, as if measuring not just the boy he was now, but the man he might become. He had seen enough darkness in his life to recognize light when it appeared unexpectedly. The coat was returned, cleaned and repaired, but that wasn't the real gift. What followed was protection, opportunity, and a chance the boy never thought he'd receive. The biker used his influence not to intimidate, but to open doors. Steady work, safety from old enemies, and a reminder that goodness is never forgotten, even in the harshest circles. Winter passed, but the impact of that night lingered. The boy found his footing, standing taller, warmer, in ways that had nothing to do with coats. The girl recovered fully, her laughter returning, her confidence slowly rebuilding, always remembering the stranger who saw her when no one else did. And the biker, known by many as a symbol of fear, carried a quiet respect for a simple act that reminded him what truly mattered. Just before we reach the end of this story, take a moment to comment below and tell us what this act of kindness made you feel. Your words might inspire someone else to do the same. By the time spring arrived, the snow melted, the fence stood rusting in the sun, and life moved forward. But that one moment on a frozen road proved something timeless. Kindness has a way of echoing far beyond the instant it's given. It can cross lines, soften hardened hearts, and change lives in ways we never see coming. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that even small acts can carry enormous power, please like the video, share it, and let us know in the comments. Your engagement helps these stories reach others who might need a reminder that humanity still shines brightest in the coldest moments.